Stop letting sports media waste your time. I'm Tony. Welcome back to Streetball Strategies.
Like one. When I say one, I mean a whole lot one. They know what to call me when I walk in the door. I am what you wish for. Yeah, I'm a boss and I ball like a crystal.
Today we're talking about how sports media is wasting your time. I get it, we're all sports fans and we all like to consume sports. I'm not talking about watching like the games themselves. What I'm talking about is watching the sports channels that talk about the sports. Be it highlight shows or debate shows, whatever. I'm talking about the shows, the media that talk about the same sports topics over and over again from the same perspective. Especially if that topic or that perspective is negative. Because I get it, like the conversation about like who's the best player in a given sport, like that topic's gonna come up over and over again. But at least that topic is supposed to be, like theoretically, a fun topic to cover. More specifically, what I'm talking about is subjects like the current NBA season when it first started opening night, the performance by Anthony Davis. The narrative with Anthony Davis is that he showed up for the first half and then he disappeared for the second half. The takeaway being that Anthony Davis is inconsistent. My point being that it has been years that we as sports fans have been listening to sports media tell us about how Anthony Davis is inconsistent. I am tired of hearing the same thing from sports media over and over again. We already know these things. Stop telling us. So today I'm talking about why and how you should stop letting social media waste your time. To be clear, this video is not about Anthony Davis or any other player that I'm going to reference, and it's certainly not to take shots at them. I'm just using them as examples of how sports media can waste your time. Because just because they're talking about a certain thing, a certain topic, and they've already talked about it many times before from the same perspective, many times before, you know what they're going to say, you know what they think already. Just because it's on doesn't mean you have to watch it. Doesn't mean, like in my case, I don't really watch much TV at all, let alone sports talk, like sports media TV. I listen to podcasts mostly. Just because it's there doesn't mean you have to watch it and or listen to it. Just because you're sitting down on the couch watching, consuming this sports media, ESPN or Fox Sports or whatever it may be, just because it's on doesn't mean you have to sit there and consume it. Don't let them waste your time, because from their perspective, it makes sense, right? They get paid to repeat themselves. Like, they're a 24-hour sports station, right? They're on 24 hours a day. They need time to fill, time to kill. They need to waste time. So when topics like Anthony Davis or James Harden or Ben Simmons, or when Zion gets injured, or Kawhi Leonard being injured, again, like when these repeatable topics come up, and especially because they're not exactly positive, fun topics, when they come up over and over and over again, and it's an excuse for sports media to have time to kill. And they're just going to tell you the same thing, the same perspective, the same thoughts that they had over and over and over again. It's going to waste your time. You already know and understand the situation. You already know and understand what they think of the situation and the players in that situation. Don't waste your time listening to it again for the 60th time. I'm literally telling you to turn it off, or if you can, fast forward through it, like get to the next topic, the next subject, so you don't have to listen to the same subjects and topics being repeated over and over again. These sports networks get paid to do this. They're paid to waste your time. Don't let them do that, because the more you actually pay attention, like the more you go, well, I'm already watching this channel. I know, like they're talking about the same thing over and over and over again. I already know what they think, I know what they're gonna say, but because I'm already here and I'm already watching it, I might as well just stay and listen. Don't do that, because you're giving them viewership, you're giving them ratings, right? They're talking about the same stuff over and over again. They're literally wasting your time. They're literally getting paid to do it, and the more you pay attention, the more viewership, the more ratings you give them, they're just gonna continue to do that. And it's easy for them. It's easy for them to talk about the same stuff over and over again because they get to be lazy because they already know everything they're talking about. They already know what they're going to say. They already know how they feel. They already know all their thoughts. They're just going to regurgitate it to you, waste your time, and get paid to do it. Don't let them do that. Now you may be saying that you keep consuming all of these topics over and over again because you want to give the players the benefit of the doubt. Like, you want to give them the chance to get better and change the narrative around and make it more positive. Again, it's not about the players, right? The players can get better, they can evolve, they can change their narrative about them, but that's what sports media wants you to do. They want you to focus on the players, right? They don't want you to pay attention to the part where they're repeating themselves and getting paid to waste your time. What they want you to focus on is the player, right? They want to make it seem as if it's, for them, the professionals who get paid to waste your time, as if it's about the players for you, as if it's for your benefit, but it's not. Because here's the problem, even if you focus on the players, like you as the fan, you as the consumer, when you focus on the player and go, oh man, I'm waiting, I'm hoping that the players do change and get better and evolve. Like, I hope Anthony Davis does start to become more consistent so that the coverage of him can be more positive. So it won't be so repetitive and it won't waste my time as much. Here's the problem with that, okay? We're usually in life, right? The human being, as they get older, they mature and get wiser. They, in general, like theoretically, get better. But when we're talking about athletes, right, and they're in a field where it's physically demanding, and as you age, right, you're just gonna get worse and worse. And even with young players like Zion or Ben Simmons, like, we've reached a point with them where we have years of evidence, of history that shows us who they are and what they are all about. And it doesn't matter if it's their fault or not. I'm not saying this, I don't even care. I don't care whether or not it's their fault. Their history speaks for themselves. Whether or not it's their fault is irrelevant. The point is, they have shown us who they are, what they are, because of their history. Behavior is the number one factor of determining who and what a person and player are, what they are. It's not about like what they say or like what their intentions are or what sports media tries to tell us what they want to be or intend to be. It all comes down to like, how do they actually behave? What is their actual behavior? Like when we're talking about Anthony Davis, LeBron can say whatever he wants to say about Anthony Davis, how he doesn't care or whatever.
We don't give a shit about criticism about AD. We don't care. Nothing bothers us, nothing. We don't, AD doesn't care.
The point is, his performance, his behavior, his actual on-court action shows us for years, his history for years has shown us that sometimes he shows up, the majority of the time he does not. And then sports media goes, oh, did you see Anthony Davis? When he brings his A game, when he actually does show up, he's one of the top 10 at least players in the NBA. But then the majority of the time when he doesn't show up, the narrative is about how disappointing he is, because when he plays great, he's one of the best players, but the majority of the time he doesn't show up, and now we're so disappointed in him. My point is, he's shown us who he is. His history of behavior has shown us who he is. Why do we have to keep talking about the same negative subjects over and over again, pretending like they're new, pretending like they're still interesting when we already know and understand all about them? The best indicator of future performance and behavior is past behavior. The players can get better, but here's the deal. It's easier for them as professional millionaires who are already famous, it's easier for them to not get better. Why should they get better? Think about it. Today's NBA owners and teams are going to pay these players regardless of the bad behavior that has, plagued their careers. Whether it be injuries or not, the next contract that they sign, whatever player it may be, whether it's AD, whether it's Kyrie, whether it's Ben Simmons, whether it's James Harden, whether it's Zion, it doesn't matter. They're all the next contract they sign, all of those players, whether they're injured or not, whether they play well or not for their current team, whether they quit on their current team or not in order to get traded. Regardless of their behavior, they're going to make at least $20 for at least a 1-year contract for the next team they go to. More than likely, they make way more money than that for a multi-year contract, and they're already famous, and they're already millionaires. Why should they put themselves through the time, the pain, the effort of trying to better themselves, better the narrative about them, when they can just continue to be who they are or devolve? Because continuing to be who they are or devolving even further, that's so much easier. It's so much easier than trying to go, I understand how the public perceives me. It's my fault that they have a negative perception of me. So how about I put in the time and effort and pain and trouble to get better and change the narrative about me? Why would they do that when it's so much easier just to stay the way they are, get paid, stay famous, and not have to go through all that trouble? So instead of depending and hoping that the players somehow make this miraculous turnaround and become good players again, like the players that you would like them to be, want them to be, want to watch them be, instead of that, just stop tuning in and listening to the sports media that keeps bringing up these negative topics over and over and over again, the same perspectives, talking about the same stuff with the same players when you already know. Stop giving them views, stop giving them ratings, stop tuning in. Stop letting them waste your time. Just because you're already sitting down watching a program or listening to whatever doesn't mean you have to watch it or listen to it because you're already there. Turn it off or fast forward if you can, but don't keep giving them your ratings. We need to all come together and send the message that when you talk about the same stuff, especially negative stuff, over and over and over again, we're not going to watch, we're not going to listen, we're not going to pay attention. So that you need to start talking about new, better, more interesting things. Make them work, make them more creative, make them more productive, make them more interesting by forcing them to do so. But when you just sit there and watch or listen to the stuff you've already heard, especially negative stuff, over and over and over again, you're just reinforcing them, recycling this like stale content to you. So I want to thank you guys for watching, right? Let me know down in the comments what you think about this topic. I've not seen anyone else talk about, like, why are we talking and listening about the same stuff over and over and over again when we already know, we've already thought and talked about it so many times in the past. Like, I get it if it's fun, like positive stuff, then fine. Let's, talk about that stuff when it's appropriate, like repeatedly when it's appropriate. But just because like every single time that Anthony Davis doesn't show up, we're making a big deal about it, like as if we don't already understand. We get it, we understand. So let me know down in the comments what you think. Like, do you think that it's annoying, or do you just like sit back and like not care? Because to me, it's starting to get repetitive and boring and wasting my time, and I am not for it. Either way, if you did like this video, if you found it interesting at all, then please subscribe to the channel. And when you do comment down below, make sure you hit that thanks button before that so that all of your comments are highlighted and thus stand out from all the other comments. And when you do hit that thanks button, it also directly supports the channel. So anybody who does that, thank you very much. As always, like, share, comment, like I said, let me know what you think. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever any video goes live on this channel. And until then, I'll see you guys next week.
Lately been going crazy, can't save me. My favorite 2 words will pay me. I'm too turned up to be lazy. Do not care who is my neighbor, deserve the fruits of my labor. I'm taking shots with no chaser and counting all of this paper. I got paper cuts on my fingers, get a cup, fill it up with some flavors. I'm about to it up, no pacemaker. Keep sending on all of my haters. 2 fingers up, I'll see you later. I'm at an all-time high like skyscraper, shocking the whole world like a big taser. Heading off to be the boss, do me a favor. Stay out my lane, I changed the game. I roll with movers and shakers. I got one leg up like a gymnast, definition of flexion. I look in mirrors and only see your boss in my reflection. I'm going in, you going out, you get ejected, rejected. I did my J-O-B, yes, 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 I'm a B-O-double-S, yes, 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 yes.